Hi guys, I hope you're all well. This is Dr. Dixie aka Dr. Zoo, and today I'm going to share my postpartum story with you. I know lots of you have been waiting to hear my experience on my side of the story, so here we go. As some of you know, I had my baby in February of 2023. February 2023 till now we are about 17 months, and it's been a hell of a ride. Okay, so we stayed in the hospital for 10 weeks because my baby came at 28 plus 3 and she weighed 950 grams, so we had to wait for her to get to a good weight for us to go back home. And we came back home when she was around 2 kilos 100 grams, because that was the weight that my pediatrician would accept postpartum to take care of my baby. Okay, and being an obstetrician-gynecologist, you have a lot of experience helping people to manage their pregnancies. You help people postpartum when they ask you questions and all that, but the experience itself, it's something that nobody really talks about, that nobody talks enough about. Okay, so when we came home at 10 weeks postpartum, when my baby was 38 weeks, weighing 2.1 kilos, it was still cold, it was winter, and being Ghanaian born, I had never dressed the baby during winter before. I had no idea what to do with the baby, and you know how it feels like postpartum. My hormones were all over the place, even though I had 10 weeks head start sort of before having my baby at home. But it didn't even occur to me that I had to prepare myself for my baby to come home, or I had to maybe read about how to dress a baby postpartum. None of that came to mind. My hormones were really working me out. Okay, so baby was given to me, we came back home, and I was lost. How to use the baby walker, how to dress my baby, oh my goodness. But some way, somehow, I was able to manage it little by little. Our first pediatric appointment, I had to quickly dress up my baby. I didn't know what to do with the baby walker, but somehow I was able to manage it, and we went for our first appointment. That was the smallest baby my pediatrician had, and it was her first black baby. So she was pretty happy about the fact that even though she was almost going to end her practice, she was quite old, and she only took us because I was a doctor. So even though she was going to end her practice, she finally got to the chance to take care of a black baby or an African baby for the first time. So lots of the things that were happening to my baby, I had to tell her, okay, I think this is it, or I think that maybe the skin issue looks like this, because she had never seen certain skin issues on African children or black children before. It was quite an interesting journey. So looking at the pediatrics appointment, we also had to do a neurology appointment because she was preterm. We had to do rehabilitation, like go for exercise every week until it was okay. Then we had to go every other week until it was okay. Then we had to go every month. We had to exercise her limbs, her hands, her belly, so that her umbilical hernia would close, because we didn't want to go for the surgical option. So she had to do the exercise in the hospital, and I had to exercise her at home as well. It was quite challenging, but some way, somehow, we are here today, so I guess I survived. So we also had to do eye clinic examinations every month until it was okay. Then we went every 3 months, then we went every 6 months, and now we go every year to make sure that her eyes are okay. And I think, yes, we also had to go to cardiology because one of the tiny holes in her heart hadn't completely closed, and they had to check it from time to time. So now we go every year until everything is okay, and once everything is okay, then we know that we don't have to go there anymore. So those are the appointments that I had. And back at home, oh my goodness, my baby didn't sleep. Okay, she didn't sleep because she had a very fixed regimen, or a very fixed routine from NICU. She kept that when she came home. So every 3 hours my baby was awake. Every 3 hours. She stopped waking up every 3 hours when she was maybe 15 months, or yes, 15 months plus or minus. But she would wake up every 3 hours like clockwork, and she would want to eat. No matter what I did, baby still wanted to eat. She would cry and scream, and it was hard. It was hard. And because she was that small preterm, she also had very, very, very bad reflux. Okay, so every single day I had to weigh her, and based on her weight I had to calculate how much I could feed her so that she didn't like regurgitate, or she didn't like throw up too much, because anytime I overfed her, everything would come out and she would end up not gaining weight. So every single morning I had to weigh her. Based on her weight, I calculate how much I feed her for the day. Okay, so you can imagine, baby is not sleeping. She's waking up every 3 hours, and in between I have to be pumping and calculating how much she's eating, weighing her. I was exhausted. Thank God for good partners, because if my husband was not helpful, I don't think I would have survived it at all. I don't think I would have survived it. The hormones really did me good, you know. They got me. They really did get me. It's been 17 months now, and I could say that I'm now beginning to feel a little better. I couldn't think. I couldn't remember stuff. I was always angry. Then I would just like become emotional and cry. I would just look at the baby and I would wonder, is this my baby or not? You know, I was lost. It took me a while for me to begin like to realize that I had actually had a baby, even though I was taking care of my baby and all that. But I still didn't feel like that baby was mine. I did that out of like obligation. I didn't harm her or anything, but I still didn't feel like that baby was mine. This postpartum period is something that I think lots more mothers should talk about, lots more mothers should share their story about, because if a new mom who has no experience at all goes through something like this with no support system, I just don't know how that new mom is going to survive. I don't know how people survive having 3, 4, 5 children, because even one the one is really a big deal. It's hard. God, it's very, very hard. Maybe your baby slept at night, or your babies were quite easy to handle, but my baby was very, very, very difficult. At night, after every night feed, just so that she doesn't throw up, I had to sit with her 30 minutes holding her up so that the food settles, then I can put her down. And then you can imagine, you feed her for like 15 minutes, then you hold her up for 30 minutes. That's 45 minutes, right? You are left with 2 hours and 15 minutes before she wakes up again. You put her down, and once that 3 hour window is up, she wakes up again and she wants to eat. And it was hard. It was really, really hard. I don't know how I survived, but I guess I survived somehow. Thank God for good partners again, like I said. If you have a partner, let him watch this video to know that like the postpartum period can be very, very challenging. I became a totally different person. Some of you might have noticed that I wasn't communicating a lot. I was a little different. I would forget lots of things, but it all came with this postpartum thing. And so if you begin to experience something like that, you know that once your hormones settle down, you very likely will be okay. Again, the mama brain really gets to you as well. You forget lots of stuff. Your brain is all over the place, and well, it's hard. It's very, very hard. So feeding my baby every 3 hours through the night, and then during the day I have to continue as well. So my husband would take my baby in the morning, then I can sleep in a little bit, and then wake up and then continue the day. I didn't, like, I was a mess, people. I was a mess. I couldn't remember, like, I didn't even know. It didn't occur to me, like, for example, that there was no food at home. It didn't occur to me, for example, that I had to do very basic stuff. Like I'll wash laundry, but it doesn't occur to me that I have to fold the laundry and put it away. Or it doesn't occur to me that like I have to do my daily cleaning. And it was hard. It was really, really hard. If somebody had told me that this was what I was going to go through postpartum, I would have said, oh, it's okay, I can handle it, it's nothing at all. But it wasn't okay at all. It wasn't okay at all. So new mom, at least you know what my postpartum journey looked like. It was hard, but maybe if you have a good support system, if your mother or mother-in-law would come to help you, you'll be at a better place, because they are more experienced and they might take the baby from the start so that you have more time to rest and recover. I didn't have it that way, because once my baby was born, 3.5 weeks post cesarean section, I went back to work, because staying at home was a minus for me, because I would be alone all day. The postpartum loneliness thing is also there. It's not a good thing for you to be lonely postpartum. Okay, if you're able to get people to come and help you, people that you know you can trust, because it's not everybody you can allow to come close to your baby when he or she is born. People have lots of diseases. So if you have a good support system that can come and talk to you, at least help you, so that you don't fall out of the society and become so lonely, I think it's very, very beneficial. So I went back to work 3.5 weeks postpartum, because I didn't want to be alone in the house, and I didn't want a case whereby like I was so far away from my baby every time. So she was there in the hospital and I was working just next door, right? We shared the same department sort of with the neonatology, or the people who took care of the NICU and the obstetrics ward. So obs and gynae, obstetrics and neonatology were in one place. The delivery ward was opposite and gynecology was somewhere else. So it was pretty like close for me. So I would go to work in the morning. Once I reach work, I would go and hand over the milk that I have pumped throughout the night. I had to pump every 3 hours, because I was really lactating, so I had to pump every 3 hours. Otherwise, I couldn't sleep. I was in so much pain, and I would pump 1.5 liters every single day for like the 24 hours. So I'll pump that, and then I would send it to the NICU in the morning to feed my baby and the other babies. They waited for me every morning. So at 6:30 in the morning, I deliver the milk for the day, and that should be enough for all the children who were there, because my baby started with one milliliter every 3 hours. Then we went to 2, then we went to 8, and by the time we left the hospital, we were around 45 mils every 3 hours. So 1.5 liters was enough for the babies that were in that department at that particular time. Some were on the formula, but most of them were on breast milk. So I would deliver the milk in the morning, then I would go and work. In between, I'll pump, then I'll deliver it during lunchtime, then I'll go and work again. Once I finish my shift, then I go pump again, and then I'll deliver, go and sit beside my baby a little bit, go back home, try to freshen up a bit, relax, and then come back to visit her at 7 p.m. and bring the dinner for the children as well. Okay, so it was very like it was hard. It was lots of activity going on at the same time. And you know, when I went back to work, my colleagues were like, oh, come back, and because we know you are very new postpartum, we will not let you do lots of work, you will just do some paperwork. But it wasn't true. I went back to doing my duty, my shifts, and the shifts were also crazy. So you're doing the deliveries, you are taking care of gynecological cases. If somebody is bleeding in the delivery ward, you deal with it. You're doing the cesarean sections, and it was hard. And after the night shift, you go to the operation room to do the laparoscopies, you do your hysterectomies, you do your DNCs, or you do like the abortions and stuff that's supposed to be done. like I was working as if I had not had a baby at all. It was hard. And this is what I did from September. Was it September? No, I didn't do this from September. I did this from March till April. Then on after what's it called? After Easter, I did my last shift during the Easter break, and then the very next day after Easter Monday, I was admitted to the ward to stay with my baby until we came home. We came home, I think, on the 26th of April or something. So postpartum, going back to work because I wanted to be with my child, then working for a while and coming back home and staying till September and going back. It's been a roller coaster. I don't know how I did it, but I would advise that if you can take all the rest that you can afford, just do it. Don't push yourself too much postpartum. Just rest as much as possible, eat as healthy as possible, drink as much water as possible, and stress as little as possible, because all these things would help improve your lactation. I didn't like oatmeal, but somehow when I had my baby, it was one of the very few meals that I always wanted to eat. So I ate my oatmeal in the morning, I ate my oatmeal at night, and I guess that's because oat is like supports lactation. It did help me a lot. Having a baby at 28 weeks plus having a cesarean section were very bad combinations for lactation, but somehow I was able to overcome that, and my baby never went on formula. She didn't accept formula at all. So right from the start till now, we are still breastfeeding, and I think I'm really proud of myself when it comes to that. It's okay if you couldn't breastfeed or if you can't breastfeed. It's totally okay. Everyone is different, but if you can work on it, I think that you should work on it. Right from when my baby came, I started to pump every 3 hours. So even though I didn't have my baby at home, I just followed that schedule to let my body know that, like, I need to produce, because the more you stimulate your breast to produce milk, the more the milk will come. So if there's no stimulation at all, then your body tells your mammary glands or your milk glands that there isn't a need to produce milk, and nothing flows. Because, like I said, the cesarean section in itself is very hard on your body, and the preterm delivery is also hard on your body because you haven't gotten to that stage for the mammary glands and everything to start producing milk. So it takes quite a lot of effort to get everything like to fall in place. Okay, so baby not sleeping, going back to work, my hormones all over the place, forgetting everything. I had to carry a small notebook with me to actually remember some things, medication doses and things, when I went back to work, because everything was gone from my mind. Everything was gone. Everything was so gone. And with the anger issues, that was also something else. I always would go back, look at what I did, then I go to my husband and say, okay, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to do this. You know that I didn't mean to do this. But you know, it's good to marry your friend as well, because if you just marry somebody that you love and the person falls out of love with you and you are not friends, then you have a big problem. But if you marry your friend, that friend will still be your friend, even when the love is gone, even when there's so much stress that they can't think about love at that time. So marry your friend as well, and marry somebody you love. So friendship and love going together makes a good partner. If your partner doesn't help you, or if you feel like you're a superhero and you don't need anybody to help you postpartum, fine, that's great. But believe me, you need all the help you can get. You need somebody to be there with you. You need somebody to support you. You need somebody to help you take a break, at least to a 2-hour nap, for you to get your energy back. It's very helpful, because when you don't have that help, it gets to your mind. You might think that you're okay, you might think you're behaving okay, you might think that like everything is under control, but when you burn out, when you get to that point where you can't take it anymore, your body would break down. Your body will shut down and let you know that, hey, I need to take a break at this point. So get all the help that you can get. For the men, that feel that the babies belong to the women. This is a very bad way of thinking. The women need all the support they can get. And you know, it takes quite a while for you to get back to yourself again. It can take about 24 months, like that's about 2 years, for you to begin to behave like you were before birth. Okay, some things will come back to normal, other things will not come back to normal again. Your body might change, and it might need a lot of working on. So when I was pregnant, I didn't gain too much weight. I lost a lot of weight actually, because I couldn't eat anything. So I lost like 8 kilos. And when my baby came, you know, I hadn't gained anything. I lost 8 kilos when I was pregnant. So it was a good thing for me. But postpartum, gradually I got back to my pre-pregnancy weight, and I gained, I think, about 3 kilos. So that was a big deal for me. I still have the same size as I did before pregnancy, but I can feel the extra kilos on me. I haven't had enough time to think about that or to work on that, because I'm very exhausted. I'm tired. I'm very tired, but you know, so what? It's my body. I'm going to manage it as much as I can. I'm going to eat as healthy as I can. If I can exercise, if I can work out, if I can take some walks, I will do it. I walk with my baby. I'll go on walks with my baby. But if I can put in a little more effort, I will. But it is important, yes, to work on your body, because the postpartum belly tends to stay when you don't do anything about it. I have a postpartum belly as well, but I mean, I know that this is a point where I don't want to put too much stress on my body, because I'm tired. But once I'm able to like fall back in place, and my mind gets back in place, and I feel all better, I would do a little bit more on myself. I'll work more on myself. Everybody is different. Some people are able to right from the start go to the gym and all that. I couldn't do that. I couldn't go back to my kickboxing because it was a little hard for me. So that's postpartum body. I still have the mama belly, but that's okay. I will work on it when I feel the time is right. I'll work on it when I think that I'm okay enough to work on it. And what else shall I say? So I wasn't that lucky with lactation amenorrhea. Even though I breastfed every 3 hours, I wasn't that lucky. I think 4 months postpartum, I was back on track again. I'm like, oh my goodness. So what if I was relying on lactation amenorrhea? I would have had double by now. But thank God I wasn't relying on that. I would never do that to myself, because I don't know, I couldn't handle another child right now. No, that's why I say I don't know how you will manage to have 2, 3, 4 children. It's okay for me to have one now, and we'll see if later on I would decide to have another one. But for now, one is more than okay. When I hear people saying, oh, I bless you, next year by this time, may God bless you. No, keep the blessing for yourself. When I'm ready for God to bless me, I'll ask him to bless me with another. And I think that he listens to our prayers, and he listens to me as well. So when I'm ready, I'll ask him for my own blessing. I always tell them, please bless yourself, because I'm not ready for the kind of blessing you are going to bless me right now. But yeah, so my postpartum journey was pretty interesting. Some of you might have noticed that I didn't communicate too much postpartum. Forgive me. My mind was really working me out. And you know, after a while, after my baby like became a little bigger, I had to go back to work full time. I think she was 14 months based on her due date, based on the time that she was born. But based on her due date, she was like 11 months. Okay, so she went to nursery school. She wouldn't eat anything all day. She wouldn't even drink the milk that I gave to the school to be given to her. She wouldn't eat anything. And she got sick very often. My baby got sick very often because her immune system was also compromised. Oh, I forgot that we had to go to hematology as well, because her white blood cells were not looking too good. So we had to go to hematology as well, like postpartum. The appointments were so many that I could barely do anything for myself. Every week we had to go somewhere. So it was hospital and hospital and hospital. It was a lot of hospital after my baby came, but it's been good so far. It's been hard, it's been challenging, but so far it's been good, and I'm grateful for my husband. He's been very supportive, very, very, very supportive. If all men did that for their wives, I think that this episodes of postpartum depression and stuff, or postpartum burnout would be a little less than it is in the system now. So let your partner watch this video if you can. Let him know that it's not a joke when a woman has a baby. It's very, very hard, and every woman takes it differently. Every woman handles it differently. As much as I knew about postpartum issues and stuff, experiencing it is a whole new ball game. Experiencing it is different. It's different from you teaching other people what to do. It's different from you, like if you've experienced something, it's a different experience you pass on than if you just read it or if you were taught in school. So this experience for me has really been an eye-opener, and when I see people with many children, I go like, hats off to you, well done, you're doing a good job. But me, no. If you can do that, you can, but no, I don't want to have like that many children. No, I can't do that. So if you're not ready to have children, don't just rely on what people are going to say and just go ahead with it. You have to be ready to have a child. You have to be mentally ready, physically ready, and financially ready, because children are expensive. Children are extremely expensive. I was lucky that my child didn't want formula, so I didn't have to spend on formula, but the clothes, diapers, wipes, the things that these babies like need, the baby walkers and all those things, they are expensive. My baby always slept in a crib, so like there are lots of people or lots of women who decide not to put their babies in cribs. That's fine with you, but I think that it's a good idea if your baby learns to sleep in their crib. Lots of people, or there are episodes of sudden infant death syndrome, mothers lying on their babies whilst breastfeeding, or suffocating them whilst breastfeeding. I knew I couldn't do that. I couldn't afford something happening to my baby, so I decided that no matter what, even if she screamed, whatever, she falls asleep, I will put her in her crib. And some of the first things that I did when my baby was born was I got a baby monitor, okay, and I got a scale. So the baby monitor I put under her mattress, and the mattress is on it, and it records as soon as breathing stops. So once breathing stops, there's an alarm that will sound for you, the mother, to know that your baby has stopped breathing. And that at least gave me some peace when I slept at night, that if anything should happen to her, the alarm will sound. And I got the scale because I had to weigh her every day to make sure that her weight and what she was eating was okay. So that she doesn't vomit, or she doesn't like bring out too much milk. So that was how crazy my postpartum journey was. I don't know if you'd want to me to share something else with you, but if you want me to talk about something special about this postpartum period, I will. Maybe some other time I'll just give more details, but for now I think that this should do with my postpartum journey. And you know that I had a cesarean section, right? I have a fibroid as well, which was so painful when I was pregnant. But you know, when you are in pain, you have this fibroid pain during pregnancy, there's so much they can do for you. There are lots of painkillers that are not indicated during pregnancy, so you can't do much about it. So, luckily for me, it was just like a pain that came very early on during the pregnancy, and it was just a one-time thing. So I was okay. Once that pain went away, it never came back again. But I didn't allow them to take it out during the cesarean section because there's a higher risk of bleeding. so I just let them leave it. And my cesarean section scar, I took care of it. I went to shower the very first day post cesarean. That's like I was able to shower maybe I think C-section was around 10 p.m. and at 5 in the morning I was able to take my first shower and freshen up so that I could like go to the normal ward and go and see my baby. Okay. And what else? My scar, I made sure that it was clean and dry. I didn't have to put any medication on it. Usually once it's clean and dry, it heals very well. You don't have to wear these like a lot of trousers to keep the place moist and all that. If it's moist or you wear too many clothes, it's possible that the scar will fall apart. So if you have like these very airy dresses or nightwear, it's better than wearing a pajamas or wearing leggings or wearing jeans. Just feel free, let lots of air like go past there. The air is also good. For example, if you had like a normal birth and you had sutures, you had stitches, washing the lochia or the blood off, keeping it dry, and using like for example this Fatex sanitary towels, and changing as often as possible. The first few days you have to change every 2 hours, every 4 hours if possible, and after every pee episode you rinse. So make sure that you are clean down there because this lochia contains lots of bacteria, right? So if you keep it clean, you smell better down there, and you heal better down there. It takes about 13 days for you to heal down there if you had like sutures, if you had a normal delivery. But cesarean section, it might take a while. By the end of the second week, your stitches should have healed pretty well, and by the 6 weeks postpartum, you are pretty like very well healed. So it's important for you to also go to your 6 weeks postpartum checkup, because they check to see if there was any residual tissue in your uterus postpartum that you need to go for a D&C for. They check to see if your cesarean section scar has closed very well, or if it's open and it might cause you problems later in life. They check to see if the opening, the stitches on your belly are healed very well, how your bleeding is, how your mood is, if you need help lactate with the breastfeeding, etc, etc. So that 6 weeks postpartum visit is very important. If you haven't had that, or if you are planning on not going for that, I think that you're planning wrongly and you should go for that. Your gynecologist will also ask you if you need help with contraceptives, and they would advise you based on the suitable contraceptives that you can use during that period, because you cannot use like normal combined contraceptives. The estrogen might give you problems with blood clotting, so you go for like the mini pill instead, or you go for an IUD instead. Those ones are like better for that postpartum period. So it's important for you to go for your 6 weeks postpartum checkup. So I think that I might have covered everything. Hopefully you found my postpartum journey exciting. Follow me, share this video, and if you want me to talk about something interesting next time, you can always leave it in the comments below. My name is Dr. Dixie, aka Dr. Zoo, and I love to share with you. Thank you for listening and have a good day. Bye.